Hello and welcome to another value. And this time we're going to talk about the value of transparency. Yes, it is a value as well. There are so many people keep asking me and says, is this really a value? Well, they're all valuable. So for me, they are all basic human values. And again, that's why I give you an oversight. I'll give you an insight into into all of these values. They're all 2-pagers. And we just finished, today we just finished another facilitator training with 10 amazing ladies, which is wonderful. And it inspired me to actually do the rest of these just now so I can add them to my values-based living series, which you will be watching if you're hearing this. But your reputation and integrity are everything. So follow through on what you say you're going to do. Your credibility can only be built over time. And it is built from the history of your words and actions. And that's a quote by Maria Razumich-Zek. Don't know where she's from, but probably Eastern Bloc somewhere. But it shows me how old I am, and I'm talking Eastern Bloc. Most of the young people don't even know what that probably is anymore. But yeah, it is so important. And it is missing so much in our leadership these days. And that is a problem because we know that there is so much wrong at the moment. But that's for another day. And on Facebook, when I do the Facebook Lives, I talk into those kind of things because I speak my truth, not necessarily everybody else's. And that's why I do them again, to make them a bit shorter so we don't have the interaction, the amazing interaction, by the way, with all the people who are commenting. And I'm learning so much from the comments that are coming in and the wisdom. Even for that alone, it's worth going to Facebook and just watch them there. But transparency is authenticity and trustworthiness, 2 words that are so important. That's all I'm saying. When we are transparent, we are honest and genuine. Another 2 things: honest and genuine, transparency, trustworthiness, authenticity. You get the message. Do you now see how leadership around the world is failing? We live with integrity. See, who we are on the inside and what we portray on the outside should be the same. And for some of these people, it probably is the same because they're rotten to the core inside as well as outside, but different story. But we do not try to convince others of who we are. Rather, we reveal ourselves to them by staying true to ourselves, our values, our beliefs, and our convictions. And that's why I always say I speak my truth, not necessarily everybody else's truth, but I don't do it that I want to convince you that I am right. No, I do it so I can give you another perspective so you can make an informed decision. I keep telling people that and they don't want to believe it. But I mean, whether you after that, you'd still do the same thing, that's not a problem. I've never had a problem with who you are. But what I have a problem is, and I'm totally transparent on that, but what I have a problem with is that you don't allow me to make my choices. You want to influence me because if not, I am a this, I'm a that, I'm a next. I am nothing else than another human being who's making an informed decision the way I see right. I respect you, you need to respect me because first of all, in the value of respect, I tell you, I respect myself enough. And I'm transparent enough about those kind of things. I've never hidden this. And why people feel the need that if they do something, everybody else needs to follow their line, otherwise, I mean, friendships are splitting up. And I said, don't worry. In fact, I made a comment about it this morning. Don't worry about those kind of things, because if you say that your best friends or your friends have left you because you don't follow their guidelines, they were never friends in the first place. You were kidding yourself. It's a blessing that they left, because now you can look for some real friends who actually don't really, I don't say don't care, about you. Of course they care about you, but they don't care that your belief is different than theirs. My best friends, I've had them for over 40 years. We have discussions all the time. We don't always agree, and that's fine. That's how it is. We understand that. Maybe it's also something to do with maturity, I don't know. But I see a lot of older people who are losing friends now as well, which I can't understand. But when we are transparent, we are truthful in our communication with others. See, people do not hear one thing from us and see another. See, that's walking the walk and talking the talk. We hear this in so many different ways. A transparent person does not boast or try to convince others that he or she is perfect. And that's what I've tried to tell you already. I never try to convince you that my way is right. It's my way or the highway. Now, that's a boss and not a leader, by the way. But I'm trying to bring another perspective to the table. It's as simple as that. And many people are doing the same. Whether it's the same as mine or different than mine, it's not. I learn as much from you as you can learn from me, or at least the perspective I bring to the table. That doesn't make me wrong. That doesn't make me whatever name you want to call me, conspiracy theorist, whatever all this kind of nonsense is. But it is done from the heart. And that's transparency about. See, transparency has a very positive impact on our relationships. Well, it should have. Because we are truthful, others believe what we say, and they should. They trust our intentions and are willing to rely on us. And they might believe what we say that is true for us. And that's a whole different story. I believe what you say is true for you because that's how you've had. I try to bring a different perspective. If then you still believe the same, I'm good. I'm happy. And that was never about that. But so many people think that when somebody says something different and they're lying or they're not transparent enough or they're this or that. No, many of those believe a different thing, a different occasion, a different perspective. That doesn't make them necessarily wrong. You might be wrong, but they might be wrong and I might be wrong. And I say, okay, I made a mistake. It wasn't exactly the way I thought it was going to be. I made a mistake. We all make mistakes. That's part of living. That's how we get experience. But our honesty about our failures as well as our successes gives us credibility with those around us, which makes it possible for us to positively influence and help them because they trust our motives. And that is the thing I'm talking about. See, it's about the motive. I'm not saying things and talking my truth because I am right. No, I bring another perspective. The motive is that it gives you a chance to make an informed decision. Maybe you don't want that information, but you can't make an informed decision from one guideline all the time, where everything else is removed from social media, from the media, from all the kind of networks and guidelines. Everything is removed. And if that happens, then you should ask questions all by itself, why that happens. We are not communists. We are not a dictatorship. Why don't we have balanced debates about everything that's happening? So people don't need all that extra information. They can listen to the debates from the different areas, decide that one might be a this and a that, and their person is right. That's not a problem. But at least we should bring these clever people together, have debates, including politicians, have proper debates, not only, it isn't even mentioned anywhere else anymore. And that's the sad thing about it. There is no transparency and our freedoms are not just chipped away, they're hacked away big style. And, at the beginning we said, 80 years ago, our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents fought and bullets fly around their ears. And all we need to do is sit at home for a couple of weeks to ensure that we keep having that freedom. Well, we've been sitting at home for 18 months and there is less freedom now than there was 18 months ago. And we need to stop this. We need to become more transparent with each other. They need to become more transparent with us and have these debates. Transparency rules there. But there are some benefits of practicing transparency, actually, as you all know that it comes. And people will believe what you say. Okay. Your words and actions will match, so they will know from experience that you can be relied upon. And that's the problem with leadership today. That's all I'm saying. You will have closer relationships because following your lead in truthfulness, your friends and family will feel that you see who they really are. Then there's two characteristics I want to talk about of a person who practices transparency. These people have integrity. Cool. Their words and actions are in agreement. They do not try to disguise the truth or pretend to be someone they are not. Cool. Powerful stuff. And around the world, people need to hear this. And the second one is these people help others because they reveal who they are, who they really are. Others see them as relatable and trustworthy and are willing to accept their help as well. Powerful. Transparency is a powerful value. And then there is some steps to follow to become more transparent. Yes, we can all increase our transparency. We can all increase in every value. That's why these steps to follow are so powerful, because without taking action, nothing changes. You can have a book and you read it, a personal development book, for example, like the 15 Laws, which is amazing. I've done a whole series on that, 16 videos. You can get that on the Cubimo platform as well. But you can read the book and say, that's brilliant stuff in there, and then you put it on the shelf and you never do anything more about it. That's why I put steps to follow in every video that I made for it, because you need to take action. See, when you follow through with action, and that's a choice. See, when you knowledge is not power, but knowledge gives you awareness, and when you get awareness, you can make better choices, because choice is still a function of awareness. And when you can make choices like I'm giving you just now, you should take action upon it, because if you don't take action, nothing changes. And yes, you might want it, you might complain about things, but if you don't do anything about what you can do to the person looking in the mirror every day to improve yourself, personal growth, values, self-care, all of this part of your growing process, if you don't do anything about it, then don't complain about what's wrong. If you're not willing to stand up and take accountability for your own life and be transparent about it, then stop complaining about everybody else. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying that something's wrong and complaining about it, but then the next thing would be, so what would your solution be? Bring solutions to the table. It doesn't matter if they're good, bad, or indifferent, but bring solutions to the table, because only complaining changes nothing. Anyway, 2 steps to follow to become more transparent. And the first one is be honest with yourself. Make a list of your character strengths and weaknesses and identify the traits that are causing you the biggest problems. Now, as a behavior analysis consultant, I do personal assessments as well. And this is not to put people in a box. And neither is this, be honest with yourself, it's not putting you in a box, but look at it. It is about looking at your character strengths, how you communicate, look at yourself, find out what your strengths are in your character, your communication, your leadership skills, find out what your strengths are. And if you look at your weaknesses, and if you can delegate them, then you don't need to strengthen them that much, but then you can get stronger in your strength, because when you're strong, and you're probably in a comfort zone in them. Stretch yourself further to become even stronger in them. And if you need to work on some of your weaknesses because you require them for your job or your business or your life, then do so. But it's that awareness. We need to get to know ourselves better. That's a full stop on the end of that. The second one is be committed to humility. A value is coming up very shortly, the value of humility. And I talk right into that. But be open about your limitations. Share your fears and do not cover up your mistakes. Be transparent. So if that is, when we get to know about our limitations, because we get to know ourselves better, that's what I just said, know thyself. When we do that, we get to know what our limitations are. There's no shame in that. We got a choice. When we become aware of it, we can choose to improve on it or delegate it to others if we have that opportunity. I hope that's simple. So be honest with yourself, or be committed to humility. And the action steps are there. There might be other action steps on the value of transparency that you want to take part in, but write down what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, who you're going to do it with, and how you're going to do it. And when you do that, because if you can measure it, you can manage it, then follow through on that, whether it's today or tomorrow or the day after, follow through on that, and you will become successful one small step at a time. When you do that, small goals achieved over time make a huge difference in your life and the lives around you. So you know about this now. I hope that you got something out of the value of transparency, but go also and have a look at the testimonials below here of people who've got involved in this. And I wish you well, and I'll see you in the next value. Take care.